Today, we're excited to have Amos Buelow on the show. Amos is the driving force behind Uplift Local Media, a company bringing businesses together through creative indoor digital billboards and community-focused advertising. He's here to show how uplifting businesses can uplift entire communities. Let's dive in. This program is part of the Scene Projects Podcast Network. Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are. Welcome into another exciting episode of The Scene. I'm your host, Bubba Startz, and with me today is my friend Amos Buelow. Amos, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you. And I appreciate you saying my name so well, too, with the pronunciation.
You really drove it home with just like the cookie. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on the show, even though I'm not necessarily in the art scene and whatnot, but we do focus on uplifting the culture of Sioux Falls, keeping it positive and innovative and uplifting. So I think maybe that allowed me to have this conversation with you here today. So that's cool.
Well, I'm not limited to just art. We have 5 different shows in the network now, and we're always about supporting local businesses. And that's what I find so thrilling about having you on, is that you are a local business who supports other local businesses by working with other local businesses to bring your advertising in. Oh, it's so many wins, man. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about, your background. I know you've been on the show before, but it's been a little while and we got a lot of new viewers. And then we'll talk about, Uplift. And I mean, really the last year of really taking off and doing this. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Sure. As you can tell, I'm a firm believer. And so that's really where my background starts. I got my cross on. My dad's a pastor, brothers are pastors, and in that upbringing, I got 2 things. One, an entrepreneurial experience without actually knowing it, with my dad having to run around, wear all the hats, be everything for everyone, even a janitor or a secretary. But I love that lifestyle, and I wanted that for my family. It was inbred into me. Realized that when I was 22 years old, after graduating college, managing a gym, and I realized I wanted to start my own business, and that I had that upbringing. The second thing I learned in that upbringing, though, was there's really nothing as special as person-to-person relationships and communication and family and taking care of each other. And so that really went into every decision I made as far as what my work would look like and the situations I put myself in. That's why I loved training at the gym and managing the gym, just being so personal with people. That ended up leading into my first business, which was men's development, Christian men's development. And that allowed me to do more than I was able to just at the gym. I was in a better setting for it to really work holistically with people. And then from there, I got into a couple of consulting roles to round out my experience as a business owner, as a coach, and wanted to get rerouted into the community since I was doing a lot of online work at that time. And the relationships and in-person contact was important to me. So in an effort to do that, worked at StartUp Sioux Falls for 2 years, which is how I met Bubba. And that was really a good conglomeration of all my skills and talents to put me in a role to kind of run a co-working space and prop up entrepreneurial programming and community building, and also just talk about business and entrepreneurship a lot of the day. The goal is always to start a new business again after that. So 2 years in, launched this in November of last year, and been working on Uplift Local Media with my wife as a business partner and a larger organization that I also work with to do this around town. But Uplift Local Media is my local brand, my local mission, and gives me an opportunity to, in this day and age, kind of protect Sioux Falls and insulate Sioux Falls a little bit from national influence, national exposure, national ads, national sports, this, that, influencer, and the other thing. And just created a good, solid, insulated network for Sioux Falls people, businesses, culture, content, to keep our community on the right track and focusing on each other first. So that's where I'm at now.
I love I love your comparison and really bringing attention to the fact that I think a lot of people would never think of it, but as a pastor, you are running a business, right? It may not be a for-profit business, but you are wearing all the hats, just like you said. So love that, little bit of tidbit there, and would explain, I mean, it just perfectly hearing the whole backstory now, perfectly explains how you got here. It makes so much more sense now that you've always been surrounded by community. Growing up in the church, community and physical contact and real conversations have always mattered to you. It's just been how you were raised. And I think now more than ever in our society and in human history, we need that. And I love how Uplift is focusing the influence not on the national brands, but on small brands, right? Especially in South Dakota, where we are a small community. And a lot of these national brands don't even make it here, right? So why do we need all of this advertising for brands that we may not even see in our day-to-day life? So much better to support people that may go to our church or that we are actually in their store on a regular basis. So love what you're doing. Can you explain a little bit of what you're actually doing? We talked about the digital billboards off the top, but what is that in the physical sense?
Yep. So I have two arms to what we do at Uplift Local Media. What we're talking about is we have this network of 50 to 85-inch screen TVs inside of local businesses. Let's say I'm sitting in a coffee shop or a restaurant, or I'm working out, and right there where that mirror is in the background, that could very well be a 50 to 85-inch screen TV in my environment as I'm sitting down here that is playing 20-second commercials that are silent, not super intrusive to your environment, that allows you to tell a story about your brand in those 20 seconds and have you connect with them through video. So we build that for people. We have a creative team that builds those ads. We update them and communicate the messages you want to be known for over time in the community, and for people to come to you for that. We also put on those screens local events, good local news stories that the community should know about. Like we pick one or two every single month that for the community to get involved in. Usually we can put nonprofits up there. We donate some space to nonprofits on the screens. So good content like that also rotates throughout. So these are in places like Nectar Juice Bars, who are locally owned by a couple that are wonderful. Jersey Mike's is the one franchise we work with, but awesome local owner, Andrew Tickner. And then Frontier Climbing and Fitness, Fit Body Boot Camp, Severance Brewing Company, 605 Ninja, Rack City, Antigua Taco House. Just some of these really cool people that have roots in our town over generations. So that's the advertising side. So advertisers can pay to be on the entire network, or maybe 10 or 20 at a time. But I got 25 locations right now. The goal is to build up to probably 70, and then eventually get into T, Harrisburg, and Brandon. And then I also have marketing services. So it's harder to track anything besides impressions on billboards. So we also have a full marketing team that can launch and run more trackable campaigns like geofencing or meta campaigns or pay-per-click, so that we can marry those two together and have them basically bolster each other in a more effective way than just doing one by itself.
And I think that gets lost a lot with people. In traditional media and the way things were done, for from the 50s, right, with the advent of kind of television until now, was that you kind of paid money to that thing that would get a lot of impressions and do that. Now with everyone's attention divided so much, and we spend so much time on our phones and in front of other screens, that you really have to have a piece of all of them and to have them all working cohesively. So I love that you kind of have the full marketing agency side to that, to not just, yes, we have this service and you get on the digital billboards, but this is how you really capitalize on that. Maybe you're using a QR code in your billboard campaign that people are able to scan, that's bringing them further into that world, into a funnel or to a website, where now you can track those impressions and be able to move people farther along the trust ladder, if you will, to finally being a customer.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's the whole purpose of that. So it's enjoyable to be able to do both parts. And it's not just me and my wife doing that work. So we actually have a team of 50 plus that support our fulfillment and our reporting and our innovation in all of our marketing services, as well as support our creative ads that we're producing for companies as well.
It's so exciting for me because the last time we really spoke and got a chance to catch up was maybe in December or January. This was just
Yeah.
getting off the ground. You maybe had one or two clients at the time and just getting started, but so much of what you have now was built in those times, right? What was, the ideas, there's so much prep and planning that go into these things and so many relationships that need to be formed, right? You don't have a physical space to put the TV. You could have 100 TVs in a storage unit, but they're not doing anyone any good there. So you really have to go out there and ingratiate yourself to the community, to these businesses, to even, have the space to put the space, right? The digital space up. So love what you've done, man. I'm so proud of you and your wife and the whole team of what you've built in such a short amount of time. You mentioned that trying to get to 70 in Sioux Falls is kind of the goal that you're driving towards now. How long do you think that'll take you? I mean, you've gotten to 25 or so, you said, in just a few short months. I got to imagine things are really starting to accelerate now as more people are not just seeing you, but they're seeing the advertising and the effectiveness of it as well.
Yeah, I always tell people that it's a methodical growth is how I work and how I appreciate doing things, because it allows me to act on opportunities as they come up because of things that I'm doing, but I also do it in a more methodical way where I'm not forcing relationships, saying yes to absolutely everything if it's not that good of a deal, or if it's costing me a lot more money. So I do put infrastructure into these businesses that I have to pay monthly for. And so it really forces me to consider, who am I working with? Why am I working with them? And how can I now leverage the current network? To your point, I have a little bit more leverage now, a little bit more credibility in my network to go to larger places. And that takes more time. It takes more time to talk to the marketing director, to the VP, to the president, and get them all in a room. That might take 6 months. So you just start to build these different relationships, and you're patient, you're eternally optimistic. You do what you have to do outside of it so that you can make good decisions and it feels good for everybody. So how long will it take? I don't know. Maybe a few years to get up to like 70 good locations. And that also means I have to have a better handle on managing all those relationships well, because I'm not going to create it if I can't handle it well. I don't think that's good for either of us. So just methodical growth. I try to cover my expenses so my family's taken care of, and if that means times are tough for a little bit, to have it grow more organically and in a better way, I'm all for that. That's how I want to work. So
well, and something I'm thinking about while you're talking is like, those 70 relationships are just the tip of the iceberg, because then you have your, maybe another 70 advertisers that are advertising on the billboards. Like there's only so many hours in a day that you have to nurture all of these relationships and making sure that people have that one-to-one. I know that's so important to you. You've made it very clear today that not that you won't offload things to team members throughout the course of a relationship, but that you really want to work with people, not just working with, with a company, that it's that one-to-one relationship. And like you said, it takes time. I'm learning that in our world, trying to get advertisers in with us. And because I'm so focused on the content production, I don't always have the hours to dedicate to the sales side of it and building out those relationships with potential advertisers. So working with someone like you kind of maybe opens some doors for us as well. And I hope that we get a chance to work together in the future. Amos, I'm so proud of you guys, man. I know that leaving the security of startup was a scary thing for you. We became close, and I was in that building a lot as you were kind of making the transition out of that. But to see everything working and just continuing to grow, it makes me so proud to call you a friend and to see you out here doing something that's needed in this world. And I know that better than most. So where can everyone find you online, find out how to become an advertiser, how to become a partner where some of these screens can go up in their buildings?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate everything you're saying to me, and the respect that you show me. I respect you too and the work you're doing. And I know it was scary for you too. You know, you're going out there, you're hitting it harder than a lot of people to provide for your wife and your kids. So you're being a good role model. The website is the best place for us, upliftlocalmedia.com. And you should be able to find anything from there, from advertising to our locations to our marketing services. And you can just contact me from there. So.
Awesome, Amos. Well, I appreciate your time today. I hope we get a few minutes after we get off camera here to chat about how we can work together to continue to promote local businesses. I think we both have a passion for seeing businesses succeed and to do anything that we can in our power as kind of the voices of this space to do so. So congratulations to you and on all your future success as well. And thank you for being part of the scene.
Yeah, thank you too, Bubba.